Live. Let's go live. And it says we're live.
It does say.
So it does say we're live. So let's just take this away at the moment. So good morning.
Hello.
It's the morning. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock and it's the 20th of April for anybody watching on the replay. So thank you for joining us and thank you for watching if you're watching on replay. So today is live on socials with Carol, who is a knitting tech editor, not only knitting, but also crochet as well, but not just a tech editor. Are you, Carol? You don't just do tech editing.
No, I don't. I'm passing on the skills to other people by teaching people how to become tech editors, because a lot of people don't even know A, that the role exists, and B, that they can make a decent business out of it. So that's my directive. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I have to say, Carol and I, we went to the Alexandra Palace knitting and stitching show at the end of last year, October last year. And I went with more as I have no idea about knitting or crochet, but I've been working now with Carol for, about a year, just over a year now. And I went there to talk to people about tech editing, and it really is a hidden art. It really is within the industry. So,
yeah.
So what is a tech editor?
So a tech editor.
Find out what a tech editor is.
A tech editor is someone who is quite used to reading patterns, understands patterns really well, and can look through a pattern in minute detail and pick up anything that's either an error or not consistent in style across the pattern or not very clear. All those sorts of things is what a tech editor looks for. Some people call it a numerical proofreader. I suppose there's something in that, really, because you do have to do all the maths and make sure that works. So that's what a tech editor does. You check patterns, and the patterns can be from independent designers or magazines or books. I love working on books. So yeah, there's a whole set of people out there who need tech editors.
Okay, and I mean, why would a tech editor be so? Why are they such a hidden art? I mean, first of all, okay, and then why do not more people know about it? Then, if
that's a really interesting.
Everything must be tech edited in the knitting world, surely.
Well, supposedly it is. Well, it depends. Some designers won't bother with a tech editor, but all big companies, yarn companies, and magazines and books and so on will use the services of a tech editor to make sure that the pattern's going to work and it's going to produce the thing that is in the picture and to the right size, and all that sort of stuff as well is all part of it. I don't know why it's not known about much. I fell into it completely by accident. I didn't know what one was, and I was knitting for a yarn company. I was knitting some of their samples, and I found errors in the pattern, which I pointed out to them, and they said, "Oh yeah, we're looking for a tech editor. Do you know any?" I thought, oh, now then, that's interesting. And that's where I first got interested in finding out more about what it was all about. And it's been a long learning curve for me, I guess, because I didn't have anyone to teach me. I just had to do it by myself. So but it's a great thing because it's something you can actually make a decent business out of, but using in a hobby that you love, because selling patterns and selling knitted or crocheted items is great if you're one of the top people doing that. But if you're not, it's a hard slog, to make a proper business out of it. So this is just another thing you can try, being a tech editor.
So, I mean, you said it took a long time. So, I mean, I take it there's is there not like a tech editing school then in effect?
There's no
you can actually go and learn how to do it.
There's no formal qualification in it. But obviously you need to prove yourself to your clients that you do know what you're doing, which is why I decided to set up my courses and try to help other people become tech editors. And the thing is, you need to have an aptitude for it. You need to enjoy it. You need to like detail. You need to like looking through, seeing that, oh yeah, there's a missing full stop there, or there's an extra space over there which shouldn't be there. All those little formatting things, as well as the actual checking of the pattern itself, are important. So I wanted people to be able to see if they like that. So that's why with you, we started short workshops. So we've got a 1 week workshop, 1 hour a day, for people to learn about the basics of tech editing and to see if it's something they would enjoy. And then if they do, they can then move on to further things.
Because yeah, I mean, and I think that it's really strange actually that there isn't. And I think I was really quite shocked when I first found out. Because imagine if you'd have had a mentor at the beginning of your journey to say, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
You can learn from all of my mistakes. That would have, you know, your business would have exploded at that point, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think kind of help.
It's I don't know why, but it's quite a secretive area. And I don't think it needs to be. So I'm out there talking about it quite a lot. Yes. Well, the thing is, because of lockdown, there's so many more designers out there now who are producing their own patterns, and they may not realize it at the beginning, but when they start getting queries about their patterns, they're going to want to have it tech edited. So there's so much potential out there now for people to work as a tech editor, and I can help them do that.
So the course then, which you've got, that you've been running now for, it's coming up to a year, isn't it? So
it is,
that basically takes on the basic version, you know, what it means to be a tech editor really. And, you know.
Yeah, it takes away, you know, the lack of understanding that people may have. It gives them a clear idea of what a tech editor actually does, because part of the workshop, we actually do a real tech edit. After we've talked about the processes that I follow as a tech editor when I'm looking at a pattern, that's the first couple of days. Then we do an actual one together. So you can really see if this is something you're going to enjoy. And people who like attention to detail and people who tend to spot mistakes usually tend to find they really enjoy it. So it's an intro to tech editing, but it's a good grounding in tech editing.
Okay. So what would you say would be the ideal person's background in terms of coming to see if they're a tech editor? What would you say was interesting?
Some sort of analytical work is often something that I've found is people like that will really enjoy it. So I mean, I was a computer programmer before, so that's one thing that comes into it. But we've had a lot of people who do analytics in lots of different ways, like pharmaceutical stuff and anything that involves a lot of detail and following, you know, little processes. Will probably find it really interesting. Yeah,
but also have a knack or a love of knitting as well.
Absolutely, you've got to enjoy it, and you've got to be fairly proficient at reading patterns. You don't have to have knitted really complicated stuff. You don't have to even tech edit complicated patterns, because you choose what patterns you want to work on. You know, you can always say, oh no, I don't want to do that one, thank you. But you know, you don't have to have a massive knowledge about all the knitting techniques. You just need to be able to follow patterns and understand the terminology that's in there, and be able to spot when a pattern isn't particularly clear in some way or another. And that's all that's on the course for people things they need to look out for.
Okay, all right. So there is a particular type of person that would enjoy this role. So when I'm thinking about it, and
I mean, so analytical, spots errors, and you know, people who like doing quizzes and things like that might be quite good, but obviously with a knowledge of knitting and how knitting patterns work is the ideal, really. So
let's just cast our mind back. So actually, for anybody watching now on, you know, live, thank you for joining us live. I know we've got some people watching us live, and also on the replay. Carol and I, we met in, I think it was October 2020. It was in the throes of lockdown. And we both joined a course, an online training course called Tech Pixies, to kind of help us just upskill ourselves in terms of being online, in terms of the social side. And it was there that we kind of met, and it seems strange to think that it was 18 months ago.
I know.
And it's
quite weird. And
what
do you remember
happened.
it was one of the really early sessions where we actually met in a breakout room, and it was it's interesting. We just hit it off straight away. And we've worked together virtually ever since, haven't we? I think. I mean, not long after that.
We didn't. So we did a couple of bits. So I did what I wanted to do in terms of what I did. I did my course through Tech Pixies. You did your course through Tech Pixies, and then we kind of was on the same kind of track together until about Christmas. And then I set up my business. I kind of knew what I wanted to do ish. And then you were kind of working with your business, and you kind of knew what you wanted to do ish. And then we kind of took the same kind of training course again. We kind of joined back up and did a joint course again in February, March.
Yeah.
That kind of put us on the trajectory for your business now, where you are, and also my business where I am. So and isn't it amazing that we kind of both knew what we wanted to do, but we both pivoted as well in our roles of what we thought we were going to be doing just over a year ago.
You have to be prepared for that, don't you, really? I think
I think so.
Other people can often point out things to you that you should really be looking at, and you think, whoa, I never even thought of that. And that's what happened with me on that course creation thing that we went on together. So really interesting. Why shouldn't I be teaching tech editing? I should.
And actually it's turned out to be right. And for me, actually, I realized I went on a course to learn how to deliver a course. I didn't want to deliver a course, but then you said to me, well, if you're not going to deliver a course, can you help me do mine?
Yes, exactly. And you see, you can't do all this stuff as a one-man band, really. Well, you can, but it's really hard work if you're doing everything yourself. So I'm setting up the course, and I've got a lot of things that I need to teach. I've got a lot of people have assignments which I mark and so on. So I have to do all that side of thing, the real course thing. So I don't really want to have to spend too much time on the tech side of everything, making sure everything's working properly. The courses link up, the system all links up through to the emails and everything else. And that's what Paula does. So together between us, it's quite incredible, because it takes a lot of the stress out of it. Because if I'm having a bad day, Paula will just kick me up the bum and say, get on with it, come on. But it's true though, isn't it? Two heads are better than one, definitely.
I do think when it comes to running a course, I think that there are a lot of people out there actually that think it's just a course. It should be fairly easy to deliver. And I think that sometimes some of the courses that we've been on actually have been slightly misleading in terms of the fact of how much work is actually involved if you don't want to give yourself burnout at the end. Because I don't believe that anybody should be doing it just to set it up and run it once.
No.
And I do think that things should be done and set up properly to start with, and then that way then you keep learning and you keep updating and you keep changing it. Now it's been a year since we did the first one, and your course has evolved very fractionally every time.
I mean, obviously there's tweaks I've done each time, because we people feedback on what they thought about the course, and generally our feedback it's fantastic. I love reading it, but there's odd things that we need to tweak, and we just do that straight away, and it all helps with the next one.
And it's now got to a point where I think we were so like running almost every time that we had a launch. We were kind of running to the deadline to get the sales page open. And the benefit of working with somebody like myself with you, then you concentrate on the course, and then I concentrate and make sure that everything behind the scenes works, and we can do it more efficiently next time, because then we've seen it and we've done it.
Yes, absolutely.
And what that's led to is, I mean, not only are your Facebook ads now improving more, you've got a lot more ground working on the Facebook ads, which is great for anybody who wants to run Facebook ads. They work. But don't believe that you can just put one ad out there and it's going to do it for you. It won't. It does take time, and you need to start collecting data. So get your pixels set up and do that properly. But also it means that whilst we were running to the very last line always, with the first couple of courses, we're now ahead of ourselves, because our I say our courses, but they're not. They're your courses. Your courses are now open now. Then the knitting tech editing course is now open, isn't it, for May, which we start in a few weeks' time. But also, we managed to now open up the crochet one for September. We are now we're now that efficient with it.
Yes.
So it just goes to show that, you know, that it does get better every time you do it. So
absolutely, yeah. That was an evolution, definitely, because initially we were just about managing to open up just before, weren't we? So, but now people, if they see it ahead of time, you know, they might want to. Oh yeah, I want to book that now, so I don't forget and get on there and ready for the next one. So I think it's quite handy.
No, and I do believe that people, they like to have the opportunity to be able to go, oh, that's coming up, that's great. If I do that now, and we've got people booked on for September already. We've got quite a few for May, a few weeks time, but we've got already some for September as well. And I think that that just goes to show that, you know, well, people love to book in stuff in advance, don't they? They like to have the opportunity to know it's not just hitting their inbox and they've got to find a schedule in the next 2 weeks to kind of do this course.
No, that's right. They can plan ahead.
They've got
much better. Yeah.
It makes a huge difference.
The fact that I only run 2 knitting and 2 crochet a year as well is that I think opening it up earlier because of that is really useful as well for people. So yes, they only happen twice a year at the moment, because after that I run a bigger course for people that are interested in taking it further. So it takes up the whole year basically.
It does, yeah. Well, 4 courses does take it. Yeah, I mean, we've kind of planned it out, but now we don't now spend all of that time now in between those times. We don't spend that time now creating the course anymore, because the course is now done in effect. You know, it's in the nicest possible way. You know, it's part of my build it once method, where it's done properly and then we just recycle it again and we go through it again. But you know, the best thing is now you can then do other things in between. So now you can get back to doing your tech editing. And you've actually had a book published recently. You've been working with a book.
Oh, actually, yes, I've got some patterns in a book, a collaboration from a few different designers, which in fact I've got it here. I love
Well, of course you do.
This is a crochet one though. Oh, it's right at the bottom of the pile. Hang on a minute. 100 crochet tiles. So I've got 7 in there, I think, plus a project of mine, and then there's 15 designers in there. So I think it's a fab book anyway, even if I didn't have my designs in it. It's absolutely gorgeous for people that love crochet. So yeah,
so you put your designs in there. Did you tech edit any of those that went in?
No. You don't. That's actually quite an interesting idea, but you don't tech edit your own patterns because you see them differently. If you're a designer, you know that pattern so well. You know, because as you're writing it, you're thinking, because writing patterns isn't my favorite. But anyway, so you won't notice things like missing full stops, or you know, you'll skim it because you think it's all there, it's all in your head. But as a tech editor, you don't know that pattern, so you start from absolute scratch and look at every single part of it. So you should never tech edit your own designs.
There you go. There's a good tip there for you.
Yes.
So, I mean, I just want to the course that's now shown down below, which is the CW main page, which is the pattern editing for knitters.
Yeah, this is the knitting one coming up.
The knitting one coming up. Actually, I've got the dates here somewhere. There you go. You got it.
5th to the 12th of May. So the 5th actually is just a meet and greet session on the 5th. But it's great for people to see who else is on the workshop. And then the real workshop starts on the 6th and goes on to the 12th. And it's at 1 o'clock each day is the live session. But all the sessions are recorded. They're all available in a really nice course portal. So you have availability to download the notes from there. There's quizzes in there. There's all sorts of things going on in the course portal. And you have access to that for at least a year, basically as long as I'm still giving these courses.
So you're giving away, is it 8 or 9 hours of your time in terms of teaching throughout this boot camp? Okay, yeah. And so how? Yeah, I was going to say, how much is it then for all of these hours? They get to just suck your knowledge out of you. I mean,
I make it affordable, hopefully for most people. It's only £37 for that. And the reason for that is because I want to get people in there who want to give it a try, just to see if they like it. They don't want to spend a fortune on a big course if they're not going to enjoy the work. So that's what it's all about. It's about giving people a chance to dip their toes into the world of tech editing and see if it's for them.
And I take it that even if they don't want to, at the end of it, they've still learned a skill where they'll be able to, even if they've got a pattern, they'll be able to find the error in there at least, you know.
They will absolutely be able to find errors in a more structured way. That's the whole point about it. But we have had people as well who are actually designers come onto the course, and they've told us that it's improved their pattern writing as well, because they now know what a tech editor is looking for and the things that they need, and to make things clear for the person making the item. So it can improve your pattern writing skills as well.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a double bonus on that workshop, I think.
Yeah. I mean, so there isn't really a loser from it, really. I mean, everybody just wins. So
yeah, and why not give it a try? Why not just try it out and see if it's something you might like to take further?
Okay. So, and what if people can't make 1 o'clock in the afternoon? You know,
no problem at all. No, it's an hour over lunchtime. That's what it's sort of intended for, but it's no problem at all if you can't make it. I know not everybody can, because everything is recorded and the sessions are available later on the same day as soon as we can get them up there. So you can watch everything on replay, and you can take as long as you want watching it all. You know, you don't have to fit it all in those 7 days. You know, you can take a bit longer if you'd like to, because it's still available for you for a year.
Fabulous.
So yeah,
fabulous.
It's great fun as well.
You know, it is. We do actually have a lot of fun. So yeah, I think one of the last students actually said that we had a unique love story, because we always get on very well, actually. And
yeah, they were really curious about how we'd met, weren't they? Yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
But it's because we just have a lovely, it's a nice atmosphere that's created, actually. So
it's
you can feel quite relaxed during it. So.
Fun atmosphere. There's no, well, we wouldn't allow any nastiness, but there isn't. It's everybody's looking out for each other. It's really good. It's a good experience to go through. Definitely.
Yeah, it definitely is. So what happens then? They come on this basic course. Okay, they get hours of Carol for £37. Okay, they realise they like it and think, yes, this is what I want to do.
Okay.
Do you then take them through? What happens after that?
So then, a part of the workshop, I describe what I teach after that, which is almost 4-week course of 1 hour a day, which covers tech editing in a lot more detail, with live examples of things that I've had to work on. So, for example, in the knitting world, it goes into a lot more detail about garments, because they're quite big in the knitting world, and the things you need to look out for, different shapes and so on, and the sizings and all that sort of side of it as well. So we go through a lot more detail of tech editing, but I also cover a lot of other things, such as how to set up in business, how to price yourself, how to estimate your work, how long it's going to take you, how to plan your work, how to, manage if lots of work's coming in at the same time. We look at social media. You go through that with the folks on the course as well. So there's it's quite an all-round thing, really, but there's an awful lot of tech editing useful stuff going on in there as well. So and that's, like I say, that's a 4-week course, just almost 4 weeks. Yeah, but that's only on weekdays for 1 hour a day, and again, all recorded and all available afterwards. And I do set a number of assignments in that course, which I mark myself, and give you feedback. So you don't just get a preset solution. Here you go, this is my solution. Well, you do get that, but you also get my take on your solution and some of the decisions you've made and why you might have gone that way. So people have said that's
Yeah.
really, really useful for them.
And I think that's quite unique, because normally now when you go and do a course, and let's face it, we're all course junkies, okay?
Yeah.
The lockdown turned us all into course junkies. It's like, just do it. Yes, I've done it. Yay! But it tends to be really basic information kind of given back to us in terms of, yes, you've passed or you didn't. And generally you don't not pass. But it's having the, you know, whatever we put down, that feedback is so crucial, because if you don't have, and not just feedback on a basic thing, you know, you mark individual, you know, everybody's individually, don't you, and give individual feedback.
Do all of their comments, all of their corrections they make. You know, if they've gone down the wrong path for a little way, I'll explain why, and why why they maybe should have done something different, and all of that. So it's a great learning tool, I think. Well, I know it is, because people have told me that really was a big help to them. So
fabulous. Yeah, good. Yeah. No, and I know it's one of the things actually that's always it's always commented on. So
they get a certificate from me at the end. There, as I say, there isn't a formal certificate, but my name's quite well known out there. So you know, you get a certificate with my name on it if you've passed all the assignments.
You've just also created a digital badge as well, haven't you, for their socials as well?
Yes,
and they can put their digital badge on their socials, and it can be verified by you as well if somebody wants to go and check them out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I can give, you know, I can give testimonials and so on if need be. So yeah,
super. Gosh, I mean, people can't lose with you. So I wonder, Go on, what was you going to say?
No, I was just going to say about one of the students who really took on board everything I told her about starting, how to get clients, because that's something.
This is it. So I was going to say, I wonder, after somebody then finishes the course, you know, is it then, you know, then they're kind of left with a whole bunch of paperwork, and they need to kind of do this, and they know how to do it in theory. I mean, what happens after that? How long does it take them?
No, I even give emails that you can use to send out to prospective clients. So make a list. They make a list of who they want to approach. There's lots of different avenues, and I help you with that as well. Help them with that, and just keep talking to people. Go on Facebook groups, sending out emails. And one student did that religiously every week. She set herself a task of sending out so many emails. She is now working full time as a tech editor, and she only learnt with us last year. Oh, well, obviously, because we started it last year. But she did both the knitting and the crochet one. And within 3 months, she had earned back the cost of both courses, which I think is quite amazing.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. So,
and she's not working full time.
The skills, I mean, you literally are learning. You're learning a skill to be able to almost feed yourself. You know, that's it. It's everything is involved in it. So
in the work. But, you know, if you do, and if you're enthusiastic about the work, then you probably will.
But I think that's the same as everything, isn't it? If you really want to do it, provided you're given the right tools and the right learning experience and the right environment to learn, and you're given what you need to know, you know, and that really propels people on so much going forward. And there are so many courses out there that don't give you that. You know, they say, oh, you're a qualified this or this, actually, but they've not given you the actual tools or the guidebook to go, this is how you do it.
Yes, and this is how to approach people.
Yeah.
And here's a helpful list of where those people might be, and so on. Yeah, definitely.
So how many tech editors that you've kind of graduated since you started?
Oh my goodness, how many grads? I'm not sure I do, but I bet you do.
Yeah, I think on last count it was 36.
Wow. 36
between knitting and tech editing. Sorry, between knitting and crochet. Yeah. And fabulous. What's amazing actually is that I think all of them are working.
Oh yeah, they're
all of them are doing tech editing now. And you've still got some students actually going through the course, because like you said earlier, you know, they have a year to complete it. Yeah. And I loved we had a lady actually that she doesn't live in the UK, because we do across the board here, don't we? So it's literally from US to Australia, your clients. And we've got some actually which can't be on due to the time constraint actually, that have done it literally just they've completed and certified with you through replays.
Yes, they
and
have. Yeah, some
replays
people have done it
alone,
completely through replays. Yeah, so it can be done that way.
And I think it's because of that feedback. That's it. That feedback keeps them, you know, in touch with you. So even if they can't be on the live calls, when they're submitting their assignments to you, that feedback is just so critical actually to that. So yeah, you're out there changing people's lives and giving them the skills.
I am. I mean, we had that one lady from Canada who was she was in a job that she was finding really, really stressful in the criminal justice system. And she just kept saying, I'm surrounded by negativity. And she used some other words as well, which made you feel quite sad. She said, I can see that I can find a way out. I've always wanted to do something with knitting, but this is it. And she did really well on the course as well. So that's changed her life.
Just to put it out there, she was a young mum as well.
So it's,
you know, don't think about knitting as just as a specific age demographic, because it's not. And this is it. You know, you give people the skills to be able to change their lives, to get out of rat races, to work from home.
Absolutely.
Or the caravan, like you were doing just at the weekend, or the hotel room this weekend coming. Literally work where it suits you.
Yeah, and the hours it suits you as well, because you can choose which work you take on. So it's quite flexible. Yeah, it's really, really lovely way to earn a living from something you love doing. So it's great.
That's not a scam. And I think that, you know, because there's so many of these, you know, well, exactly. I mean, one of our, it's actually really quite funny. I mean, we started to put these Facebook ads out, and Facebook rejected it because it said it was multi-level marketing, actually. And I know what multi-level marketing is. I've been in it, actually. But what Carol does is not multi-level marketing. It's literally teaching people a skill to be able to go and create their own businesses.
Exactly.
But once you put on there, you know, doing what you love, a home-based business, okay, and do it in your own time, okay, they went, no, I'm sorry, this must be some multi-level marketing. Or can't be something right to it, you know. They just, and it's because this is actually what you're teaching people to do. That's it, you know. The benefit that you get from it is that actually, eventually, there'll be enough tech editors where you won't be overloaded, because this was it.
No, that's right.
I was just, you didn't get any time in the day.
Swamped with work. And I still have regular clients, and I still work for them, but there is so much room out there, and I can help pass work on as well if I'm swamped. So it's a win-win, really. It really is.
Fabulous. Yeah. You just pass those skills over, because that's it. If you know how to do it, why hide that skill? So gosh, amazing. So Carol, tell us what's coming up in May. One last recap.
So May the 5th we have a meet and greet, and then we've got the knitting workshop from the 6th to the 12th, 1 hour a day at 1 p.m, but all available on replay. So you'll be learning the basic processes I go through to check a pattern, be learning all about the maths that you need to be able to check a pattern properly, and you'll be doing a real tech edit, and lots of other resources in there as well. Lots and lots of resources I give away on that course. So come and join us.
Perfect.
It's exciting.
Just to have fun.
It is fun. I love doing it. I love it. It's great fun.
It's always great. So perfect. Well, the link is below. Actually, you've been scrolling as we've been talking. So coolwallschool.com, and we take you to the CW main page. So that gives you the option of joining the course, or just put your name on the wait list if you're not ready. That you're ready for now. May. The next one will be November. As soon as the May's page closes, within a week, November's will be open. So if you're unsure if you can join us this time around, get yourself on the wait list, okay? And then you will be emailed out to say November's is open, get yourself registered, okay? And I think that's it. It just leaves me to say thank you so much for joining us today. I know it's half term, so actually there's still Easter holidays. There are a lot of people away.
That's why I had a visitor behind me crossing, because he's on holiday.
I'm actually really glad that I didn't have any visitors either. I think that they, I bribed them with enough Easter chocolate still downstairs to kind of give me like half an hour this morning of peace. But yeah, it's been really lovely to be on with you live. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be able to pop this link in the chat on Facebook and on Instagram, won't we, for anybody that wants to come join us. And I think that just leaves me to say thank you for joining us. Thank you to anybody that stayed and watched live. It's been really lovely to have you here.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And yeah, if you want to know more, go and jump over to Carol's site or on mine. You can find a link on mine to go towards Carol's. Okay. And don't forget, if you have any questions, pop it in the chat and then we'll come back to you. Okay. So thank you. It was lovely to be with us this morning. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.